Hey FamBam, welcome back. So you remember my graduation was recently, and remember the outfit that I wore? I told you guys that I actually made it myself the night before graduation, okay? So I decided to document it and share it with you guys, all right? And also have this memory to look back on, later on, on YouTube and whatnot, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, my name is MsTopacJay. This is not a tutorial. You guys know I'm just learning. I literally just started learning not too long ago. By the way, this photo right here is the inspiration of this outfit, okay? So without further ado, let's jump straight into this video.
Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so blessed. Pray for me.
Alright, so to make this outfit, I have about 5 yards of Kente fabric. So first, I'm going to go ahead and measure how wide I want the skirt to be and also how long I want the skirt to be. So I determined that I want the skirt to be about 48 inches long, which is from around above my belly button area to the floor, basically to my feet. Alright, and also added about 2 inches of allowance. And for the width of the skirt, the tutorial I watched basically said to measure my waist and multiply it by 3 and then divide it by 4, okay? And then I cut about 4 of each measurement. So now I'm gonna go ahead and measure where I want the split to be, because as you guys saw in the beginning, the skirt is a split skirt, okay? So I determined that I want the split to be about 10 inches long, basically from my waist, and I also measured about half an inch of allowance, and I put the pin in that area, and I'm gonna go ahead and sew it down. Are you kidding? The thread just came out. Are you kidding? Alright, and we're back. Are you kidding? Oh my god. Alright, and we're back. I did a lot of ironing here, okay? So once that is sewed down, I went ahead and I, ironed it in place. And I've got a towel here because the surface is not necessarily heat resistant. So I went ahead and I ironed down that split opening so that way it can give me a bit of a guide of where I need to sew down in terms of the split. So you see right there, it gave me that natural crease, which I ironed all the way down. And then I'm going to go back to the sewing machine and sew that down. I didn't sew it all the way through. I just kind of sewed a few inches at a time just to, make sure that is nice and placed down and looking neat, okay? And then I also kept ironing as I go. So this is the actual 4th fabric right here. As you remember earlier, I said I measured each fabric. The 4th one was actually about 18.5 inches. So I went ahead and I joined the fabrics together. Actually, next time I do this, if I do this style, I'm literally just going to, measure how wide I want it to be and split it into 2. So that way I can know exactly where my split is going to be instead of cutting it into 4. So I just basically went ahead and I ironed down the areas where where I've joined the fabrics together. So that way it can look more neat. Okay, so I'm just basically opening it up and then I'm gonna iron it down with my iron, of course. Obviously, I don't know why I'm saying it like that. So now to do the waistband, the measurement of my waist is about 37 to 38 inches, and I measured that plus about half an inch to an inch allowance. And I also measured 6 inches high because at the end of the day, I'm going to end up folding it about 3 times to get the perfect waistband, which is going to turn out to be about 2 inches high of a waistband and still 37 inches wide. So I went ahead and I ironed it down so that way it can give me that natural crease, so that way I can also know where to cut instead of drawing on the fabric, even though I didn't mind that, but I just wanted to iron it down. And I made sure I measured throughout to make sure that it's still accurate. So to give the waistband a little bit of a durability, I added interfacing. All the videos that I watch recommend interfacing. I also learned this last time I made a skirt. So I decided to add a little bit of interfacing that I still have left. I ironed it down and also cut it, instead of like using tape measure to measure it and whatnot. So now onto the gathering of the skirt, which took me a long time. This actually took me, no joke, about 2 hours because I could not figure it out for the life of me. So basically I just went ahead and I used my needle and thread and just you know, passed the needle through the skirt, through the edge of the skirt, you know, basically the waistband area, and just kept up, you know, just gathering it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to put a few videos that I watched down below, but the final video that actually helped me, I'm going to put that first so that way you can see it. I literally just had to finesse my way through this, guys, literally. And because I was so tired, I don't remember what time it was, because I was so tired, I just wanted to get it over with. Oh, that hurts. No pain, no gain. No pain, no... Wait, that's not how the song goes. No woman, no cry. Well, this gathering is taking a long time. So once I was done gathering the skirt, I just still made sure I held that thread in place. I didn't pull out the thread entirely yet. I held it in place and I went ahead and I measured that perimeter so that way I can make sure that it matches the measurement of my waistband. This was a little bit, I did this a few times, but I'm only putting one attempt in this video because we're gonna be here all day. Just remember, guys, I am not a professional. I literally just started learning how to sew like a couple of months ago, so I'm still trying here and I'm just trying to learn as I go. Okay, just know that. All right, so I just took that back to my sewing machine and sewed down the waistband to the skirt while making sure I keep that gathering in place. I only want a little bit of gathering, I don't want too much. There we go. So now that it's sewn down, look at that, that's nice. Okay, and once that's ironed down, like, it looks much better. So now I'm going ahead and just folding down the belt, and I'm going to fold it down twice. So this is the first pass, and then the second fold, I'm going to iron it down again, just kind of see to make sure I'm on the right track. And I say that, okay, I like the height of this waistband, I'm liking it so far, it ain't bad. All right, and the skirt is looking like a skirt. Ooh, I was so happy, I was so excited. So this extra bit right here, I decided to iron it down and then pin it in place because it was a little bit extra that I had, but I decided to go ahead and cut it off later on. Oh, look at that, that looks like a skirt. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply zipper, okay? And the zipper I use is a black zipper, and I just continue to iron and just make sure like all my crevices are nice and smooth. And this is where I decided to cut the extra allowance from the, you know, waistband or the belt, the waistband basically. And then I ironed down a little bit of a fold on the waistband, and also went ahead and I pinned the zipper to it. And I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and sew the zipper down using the zipper foot. I'm also going to put a few links down below that I watched last time I tried to do a zipper. Since then I've actually been able to do a zipper nice and easy, you know, easy-ish. Alright, so now for the top. At this point I was like, do I want to do a top because I was so tired? But I was like, okay, let me just do it. Okay, let me do it. So this is the top I'm actually using as a template. It's a very nice stretchy elastic filled kind of top on the chest area and also the stomach area as well. So I wanted to use it because I wanted something a bit off shoulder. Not a bit, I wanted an off shoulder top. Okay, so I basically use this as my guide. I have a few patterns of tops that I've done, but I didn't have a pattern for kind of like an off shoulder top, so I decided to just draw out this pattern from with the top, you know, straight onto the fabric. And Bob was my uncle. Literally, I was just too tired to even draw the pattern on the top, so that way I can keep it for later. Now, a mistake that I would say that I made when making this top was the fact that I actually forgot to put enough seam allowance, because literally a few hours later, which was the time for graduation, I couldn't get the top on to save my life. Okay, Binti and Elizabeth, my sister, my friend, they both had to help me. We literally had to take off my bra, shove my boob up there and trying to get it on. Oh my gosh. Ooh, it was a whole process. So next time I make this top, and I am going to make it again because I like the top, I'm going to put a lot of allowance. But honestly, I don't even want to explain this part because it's just a template. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a professional. Maybe next time. So when tracing to make the pattern, I made sure to trace the front and the back of the top while stretching it because the top itself was stretchy, okay? I also marked the front and the back so I know which way was what, okay? Which way was which. And then I went ahead and I pinned both sides to each other, okay? Basically pinned the right side facing each other. I also traced the arm of the top of my fabric, and I did this for both arms, obviously. Inserted the sleeve into the top on the appropriate side and pinned it in place. Turned it inside out to make sure it's right, and oh yes, we have an off-shoulder top. Yes, I don't know, I'm still excited about this. This was like a few weeks ago. I'm still excited. Anyway, I then checked to make sure I'm on the right track by putting my guide, which was the top, on top of the fabric and stretching it out. And as you guys can see, I could have put a little bit extra more allowance, but I didn't, but that's okay. Okay, so I also decided to mirror the wrist of the top. I used as a guide and measured the elastic band for my wrist and measured about an inch upward to create room for the elastic band to pass through, because I wanted the wrist to be kind of elasticy, you know what I mean? I really like that on the top. I also did the same thing for the chest area for the off-shoulder effect, which was about 34, actually it was 34 inches to be exact, the elastic band that is. And I also measured another for the end of the top, which was 31 inches, but the elastic for the end of the top was thicker. Next time I think I'll just use the same smaller elastic band for both the chest area and the bottom of the top as well. Yeah, so when I just made sure I pinned everything in place, and then I danced my way to the sewing machine because I was about to, you know, be done with it. Yay. And then pass the elastic band through the wrist, the chest, and the bottom of the top. All right. Ooh, thank you, Jesus. Yes, it's surely move me. Hey, nobody go down with me.
On your waist, on your waist.
I was like, maybe I should wear that top with it, because it seems like too much.
Nah. No, no, no.
I'm tired.
Wow. Yeah, it's fine.
So that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. This literally took a whole night, but it turned out good. I really loved it. I stood out at graduation. That literally was not my intention, but I still stood out because I was the only one wearing African Kente Fabric, okay, at graduation. But yeah, it turned out good, and I'm actually quite pleased with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, babes. I hope you, you know, I don't know, I can't even say I hope you learned something from it because I'm a novice myself, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. So thanks for watching, babes. And as always, evidence to love yourself, and I'll see you in my very next video. Bye.
Good. Thank you. I'm gonna put it in.